where, if you don't know Dave, Lord of Patriarchy, he's like a disgusting manatee of a man, and I don't mean it because he's a fatty boombalatti. Your boy here has a little girth on him. I'm just tossing that out there. He's just like a gross person. He's gross to people. He uses slurs. He's like icky. He sort of does like this shit. He's just a hateful dude who needs some love, and we're trying to save him. Pickle guy from SpongeBob. He's sort of pickle guy from SpongeBob. Yeah. No pickles, and then they're under his big tongue. Is he the one with the drinking problem or the skinny Nazi? The drinking problem, not the skinny Nazi. We can change him. I think Save Dave. Save Dave is good. I think we can save Dave. But anyway, we can't save him from his bad cooking. If you don't know, another caveat. If you don't know anything about me, I am a home cook. And you still winning the treadmill challenge? Yeah, but I had to take time off. But yeah. In fact, I'm going to start that back up hard, basically as soon as I can breathe again. I'm going to be working out and doing stuff that's not that. But I think I'm going to add it to not just miles, because sometimes my ankle can't take just straight miles. My ankle can take like more aerobic exercises and body weight stuff, so I'll probably be doing that. Did he agree to that? I don't know, but he's going to lose. I sent him the video, but we'll see what happens. He is a racist, abusive, drunk uncle in a Lifetime movie. Yeah, he's that guy. I missed you too, Nixon Plumber. As an ex-chef, I've avoided these videos. Oh, they're going to piss you off then. Because he doesn't know anything about cooking. He likes to think he knows about cooking, but he'll say shit like, I don't know, like you can't put a sauce with a steak because you got to let the meat be the star of the show. It's like, if you've had a New York strip, you've had a New York strip. You can put stuff with it. I don't. He gets really mad about stuff. It's really weird. He's a very strange guy. He often mentions the smoke point of oils. He's just a fucking weird guy. Which certainly matters sometimes, but most of the time, olive oil will be just fine. My sir needs to learn about a béarnaise. That's what I was saying. We literally talked about a béarnaise sauce. We talked about like a red wine mushroom sauce or something with steak, which is classic. I don't know, dude. He's just fucking bad at stuff. Anyway. So all that aside, I am a pretty good cook. I ran restaurants for a living for a while, and I just cook at home. I just got a KitchenAid, by the way, chat. I finally bought myself a KitchenAid. I put it off for 15 years and decided, hey, you deserve it, goddammit. But you're a bad cook. Well, we can make you a good cook. We'll be doing some cooking stuff, too, in the future. And not just for fancy shit. Okay? We're going to be doing, like, budget stuff as well. Because I was poor for a long fucking time. But I ate well, goddammit. Anyway. You love your KitchenAid? I mean, it's going to be on my house for 30 years. So, KitchenAids are actually usually worth it. Yeah, I know. They can actually... They're one of the only machines that hold up to, like, actual kitchen abuse. They're just a big price tag, but... I've been splurging on... Well, splurging. I have been focusing on quality over cheapness recently on purpose. I'm trying to mitigate the amount of waste in my life, and I'm trying to be better about, like, making things from scratch, and so I've been making bread and stuff. So it's just like a whole thing, but trying to be more self-sustainable rather than just, you know, trying to, you know, just Walmart and shit, you know what I mean? Well, I don't shop at Walmart, but anyway, this guy is the antithesis of my human being. Me as a person, you're going to see the opposite of me. The evil version of me is Dave. Like, if I just made every bad choice, it would be Dave. And that's really what it is. So here's Dave's cooking show. He's making chicken cordon bleu skillet. I have not seen this. He literally will make this the goopiest, grossest, gray-colored thing you've ever seen. It's going to be awful.
Okay, let's make this chicken cordon bleu skillet. Real easy to make, perfect for a weeknight, and it's damn near a one-pot dish.
So what I'm seeing right now is raw chicken, maybe without any sort of fat source at all, in a cold pot. Just starting off in a cold pot. So immediately what you're going to get is, if this starts from cold, like this chicken, unless he I don't know, braises it for some time in liquid or like cooks it down for a while, which I don't think is going to happen. He's not going to get a sear on this chicken. It's going to become rubbery and chewy. This is, and it doesn't have any seasoning. Although I'm assuming he's going to put some sort of chicken cordon bleu. I'm assuming he's going to put some sort of like Alfredo sauce or some gross shit on this. So.
Okay. So I got about a pound
oh.
of chicken here, and I cut it up into bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. Into a cold
From
pot.
In my world, that's
this shouldn't be it.
about a
Well, it's gonna be cheese and ham. Yeah, I'm assuming it's gonna be ham in here.
Half-inch pieces.
Hopefully cubed ham. If it slices of ham, I'm gonna be.
But
lose
unlike normal chicken, I didn't season it with salt and pepper. I decided to go.
You didn't season it with salt and pepper.
With pepper and Lowry's seasoning salt for this particular recipe. You know, just a normal amount. Good dusting.
Wait, is he doing it right now in the? Okay, here's another. Okay, so here's a thing. Okay, if you're a home cook, if you've never cooked a day in your life and you're like, how do I cook chicken? Season it and set it aside for a while. You can put it back in the fridge. You can set it 15 minutes on the counter with something over top of it. Season it first, because what salt does is, I don't know if people understand this. Salt is like the most important thing. If you've ever had any sort of restaurant experience and you're like, damn, this is just seasoned good. It's just salt. Mostly just salt. I mean, obviously, there's like fresh herbs and stuff that go on with it. But if like, you know, why is this chicken breast so good? It's just how they salt it. Salt it, let it sit for a while. That salt, it's called a dry brine kind of. I mean, it's not, but it is. But don't worry about it. Just salt something to your liking, whatever that is, and just let that sit. It'll soak in. It'll break down the muscles a little bit. It'll make it a little bit more tender. And it'll also get that salt penetrating into the flesh itself so that when you bite into it, it's not salt on top. You're not just going to get salty bites. It'll just be tasty. If you season correctly, salt should be there, but not salty. It's sort of the difference between, you ever get French fries and you take them home and they have that nice salt to them, but they're not salty, and then you put salt on top of them and then you take a bite and it's like salty? That's the difference, because it doesn't have time to sort of permeate the food. This is, salt has a bliss point that triggers in our brain that needs to be slowly incorporated through the whole process. Exactly, yeah. Salting is probably one of the best ways to get flavor out of things. If you ever had anything that's bland, it likely just was not salted. That's it. Also, feel free to use some MSG every once in a while, chat. Not a ton, just, you know, enough.
And then you want to cook this until it's done.
So he didn't do this correctly.
You know when it's done. I hate.
You can salt and do Lowry's and it'd be just fine. I understand maybe not wanting to do that, but it depends on how much Lowry's you're putting on there.
Giving cooking times, because all it takes is for you to be in
Dry brining. That's what I was gonna say. Dry brining chicken overnight is yummy. You could also just do it for about an hour. I think they the Food Lab did a study on this. There's not much different in taste or texture from just a salted piece of chicken breast that's left in the fridge for an hour to salt brine versus one that's overnight. There's not a huge difference, but 15, like under an hour, there's a big difference. Over an hour, it doesn't really get that much different. So this is from Jake Henry Lopez Alt, who is awesome. Pluto Mars, thanks so much for the 6 months. Just had Mexican elote, and it was amazing, and thought, where has Jake been this whole time? And here you are. Yeah, I was sick for a little bit, and then I went on vacation right before that, so it was just 2 weeks and nothing. My ex's dad used to sprinkle salt into his forked food between bites, like seasoning in the last moment. It was so weird to me. Yeah, that's fucked up, and probably due to, was he a smoker? Because a lot of smokers can't taste very well. And that's usually what happens. But if you season your chicken when you get home, go about your day, it will be pretty good. Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. We'll go over all of this stuff during my cooking streams. But Atomic is 100% correct. Ex-chef. I mean, you definitely know your shit. So probably more than I do. But yeah. I'm pretty sure the MSG migraine trigger was a myth, unless it's specific to just that. But most of the MSG myths about its unhealthiness came from sort of a racist anti-Chinese thing, which is true. You should look it up, though. There might be something if you have something specific, but most people don't have. There's MSG and stuff that you don't even know. Like, does that person that has an MSG migraine trigger eat Cheetos all the time? Because that has MSG in it. Doritos has MSG in it. I mean, lots of stuff have MSG. Stuff naturally makes MSG. So consider the source of your information on these kinds of things. Very similar to the people who say that like Diet Coke is worse than regular Coke. It's not. Those studies have been debunked. Please don't believe these things. Yeast extract. Ooh, yeast extract is so good. Nooch. Oh boy. Ios Myestad, thanks for the 39 months.
And
Jake, are you confident enough to go on your cooking skills, go on a cooking show like Great British Baking Show or equivalent? Not the baking shows. I'm not a baker. I'm a cook. I could do if it's a competition between me and other home chefs, I would do pretty well. Probably. Yeah. It might just be the sodium causing headaches. Yeah. Brewer's yeast. Used to eat it on buttered popcorn, so tasty. Yeah, you can put yeast up on stuff. Yeah. I actually have nutritional yeast that I use all the time. I have regular nooch. It's sort of like Parmesan-y almost because there's a little that umami thing going on. But I also have two different ones. I have a lemon pepper and then I have a garlic parm that kind of uses. I think it's like cashew and nooch, and it sort of feels like cheese. It's really fucking tasty. It's really good. Vegans are onto something.
My cooking times are fucked. But cook until it's done.
Goop.
About 5 minutes or so.
Cook until it's done.
General rule. And we'll be ready.
There should be some
the
fat
next
in
step.
here or something. Like this is.
Okay.
Do you see how that's just like ooky? See this is ooky and gloopu?
The magic of cooking show editing.
Gloopu and
the chicken
ooky.
is done. Look at that.
It doesn't
Ain't
look good.
that pretty.
No, it's not pretty.
Now you want to add
cubed shitty Walmart ham.
About a half of.
This would be so much better if you put a nice sear on this chicken.
You can buy it pre-cubed in any grocery store.
Also, by the way, if you're going to cook a chicken breast, don't just take the breast, salt it and season it, and then put it in a skillet because it's going to come out once you tip it over off the flat side and that you have that that sort of like it's sort of like this, I guess. This thick part is not going to cook well. Take a mallet and smash it down and make it flat and then cook it. I'm telling you, best chicken you'll ever have.
And you want to give this a good stir and let it cook for at least a minute.
You could butterfly it too, but I don't know.
Okay, unfortunately.
Family just discovered vampire salt recently. It's fucking fantastic. Salt, garlic powder, and pepper premixed. Oh, that's it?
I forgot to hit record to show you guys
What'd he
this
do?
step, but I added a 10-ounce can of cream of chicken soup.
10-ounce can of cream of chicken soup. This is the problem. He always makes gloop, bro. It's always gloop. This is awful. You know what you could have done with this is if you would have done a little bit of fat down here, probably olive oil or something, gotten a sear on that chicken. Although maybe I would have done the ham first, honestly, just because the ham flavor would have been good. You could have popped this down with maybe some butter and cream and just made and some thyme or something and made your own sauce out of this. Maybe some flour to tighten it up. I mean, you could have made a gravy out of this and had this tight instead of this cream of chicken bullshit, and it would have been way more delicious. Catalina Gearbox, thanks for following. I thought you already followed. Am I nuts? Catalina Gearbox, haven't you been around? Am I silly? Am I a silly goose? Needs more milk. Milk, cream, whatever.
And about 1/4 of a cup of water along with a tablespoon of butter. And
wow, he did all of that and butter. This is going to be a fatty mess.
Got all melty and happy.
It's awful.
Connected with each other. And then you want to let this go for, again, about another minute or so. Like I said, once the chicken's done, this dish really starts to come together really fucking quick.
I have a hard time calling this shit dishes.
Now, last but not least,
cheese.
It's time to add our final ingredient.
Shredded Swiss cheese.
And that is
shredded Swiss cheese.
A 1/2 cup of shredded Swiss cheese.
What I say?
And then you just want to stir that
around
awful. And keep stirring till the cheese is melted.
This is awful.
And then you want to remove this from the heat. And by the way, at some point you should have cooked about 8 ounces of medium egg noodles too.
You're going to do this on egg noodles? It's going to be even gloopier.
Alrighty. We've removed it from the heat, and time to add the egg noodles.
I wish he had sound on this because it's going to go...
And that's
I wouldn't do this with noodles.
Pretty much it. Then you just want to kind of carefully stir this around.
No.
I maybe used too small of a pan.
Are we trying to do a casserole? It's a skillet.
And just want to stir everything around.
This isn't a skillet.
Incorporated and mixed together. And
Jesus
that's
fucking
it.
Christ. No.
Chicken cordon bleu skillet.
No. Okay. I thought you said you didn't watch this. I didn't. I just knew where he was going. Okay. God, if you want to make a skillet, I guess this would be more like chicken cordon bleu dip. Here's how I would do this to make it good. If you want the chicken cordon bleu experience, and you want it to be tasty, I think the way to do it is to kind of approach it the way you would like a buffalo chicken dip. I think you need to slow cook a whole chicken and shred it. So you get a mix of the dark meat and a mix of the white meat. Nicely seasoned, shred it up. And then you could probably make... I would make a Swiss cheese bechamel. If you don't know what a bechamel is, it's basically... it's basically like a cheese roux. It'd be like a cheese sauce. Make a Swiss cheese bechamel with hand shredded Swiss cheese, a little flour, a little butter, whatever, a little cream, and probably some black pepper. I would probably add a little bit of, just a tiny bit of thyme, because I really like that herbaceousness of fresh thyme. Just sort of like take it off, chop it up a little bit, and toss it in there. I might do a little bit of sage to keep it a little savory. I might just put that... Actually, I might do the thyme and sage during the roasting of the chicken process, now that I think about it, because I kind of don't want that around. Maybe a little more fresh thyme at the end if it's not timey enough for you, if you like that taste. But that's not really a feature of chicken cordon bleu. Anyway, I think a good way to do this to make it sort of fancy... You could either go with the cubed ham or pieces of ham in whatever way. You could go pancetta, which would be a little saltier. So I would probably be inclined to do less salt in the bechamel. Well, that was what I was going to say. You could do croquettes if you want to do it fried. But if you're not making chicken cordon bleu, you don't want like the cordon bleu fried thing. If you just want like a dip thing that you could put stuff in, yeah, I would go with the bechamel base of the Swiss cheese. However, I would take it a step further and make it really fancy. I think you could do a layer of, put it in like a dish, like a dip dish, sort of like an oval or a circle, whatever, like a ramekin, however you serve it. You could put, this is what I was thinking, instead of pancetta, instead of ham cubes in it, you could do prosciutto over top of it. And you could do this in 2 waves. I think if you did a layer of prosciutto on top, or you could do a layer of prosciutto on the bottom, you could do both. It'd be a little bit too much if you did it both, though. It'd be a nice salty, sort of hammy thing. It'd be a little more expensive. You could do breadcrumbs, and I'm thinking about breadcrumbs, but I think the next step would have to be, I think maybe just a cheesy topping. You could do breadcrumbs, probably panko, just to give it some sort of like texture, depending on what you're dipping in it. Maybe if you're just doing like pieces of bread or something, like I don't know, sort of like what's the, I can't, diagonally sliced. Why can't I think of the name of that? Diagonally sliced like pieces of like a baguette or something. That'd be good. Thank you, daughter of Tiamat. I'll tweet that out later. Make like beef stroganoff without the mushrooms or homemade hamburger helper, and my cream sauce doesn't look anything goop like shit. Yeah. Julienne? No. Buttercracker Chris. Something. Yeah, Buttercracker. Something like that. But I would finish it with a combination of finely shredded Gruyere and panko breadcrumbs to give it sort of this cheesy topping that you would broil at the end to give it that sort of texture. Gruyere would be sort of Swissy, but it's a little bit more nutty. Crostini. There you go. And I think that would give you a nice sort of like dip profile where the Swiss, that sort of like bite of Swiss at the bottom, you could sort of cut through the hamminess of the prosciutto, and I think that would be really tasty. Yeah, I think that'd be good as fuck, actually. Alternatively, you could mix all that up with breadcrumbs and like toss it in breadcrumbs and make You probably have to cool them, but you could make in like a thicker bechamel. But you could cool that and make croquettes, which are basically just like, I don't know, poppers. Mayo. Jeez. Cheese topping? Yes. Yeah, definitely a Gruyere topping would be fucking tasty.